All right, so the next thing to do is basically set up the villain or the enemy. So I'm going to go to sprites, and I got myself a shark. So I'm going to drop it up in here, and I'll make it a foreground element, and he's a bit giganticus. So I'm thinking 500 is not going to quite do it. Let's try 1,000 and apply. That's close enough. Okay, so we're gonna go 1,000. Good. Okay, so shark here. Boom, 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 boom. Great. So we're gonna create a component. And we're gonna go to physics 2D. We're gonna do a rigid body. I don't even know if I need it, but I'm just gonna put it on there anyway. And then we're gonna go physics 2D, and we're gonna do a box collider. And I'm gonna edit the collider, and that looks fine. Works for me. Bam. All right. So we got that. We're gonna have to basically we got to set up the same system as him. So we're gonna create an empty, and we're just gonna call it enemy. Whoops, enemy. Huzzah! And then we are also and we'll take shark and we'll put underneath enemy. And then we are also going to need a block tester. So I will actually just duplicate this guy and throw him in here. And I'm just going to take this little extra nugget off of here because I don't really block tester. And this will switch, but we just have that in there for now. And good. So this block tester is in a bad spot. 0, tab 0, enter. And let's edit the collider, and we basically just need to make it the same size as this fish. Well, it's not a bony fish, but you get the idea. Okay, let's go ahead and put that back up. All right, good. So now what we need to do is we basically need to do the same thing we did before. So I need to make another script for this block tester, but we got to change it slightly because instead of like testing for him, it's got to test for the other things. And actually, you know what I can do? I'm going to leave that block tester script, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust that script here. So actually I already have it open. So we're going to say if other tag is not player. So if you do two of these and it means both things need to be true. But if I do this, if I go boom boom, that means or other dot tag is not equal to, in this case I'm gonna make a tag called enemy. I didn't make it yet, but we're gonna put that in there. Okay, and I'm just gonna go ahead and copy that bit, Control C, and we're gonna put it in here, space Control V, and voila. So basically they can run into each other at their own whims. So that's good. Great. So we'll save that, and that way I don't have to make another. I was gonna make another script, but I'll just use the same one. Good. And so we did that, and all right. What am I missing here? So we changed that up, and basically we need to I gotta add a tag to this. So if you look, he doesn't have a tag. I need to make an enemy tag onto the shark here. So there's no tags. So I'm going to add a tag. We're going to create a new one. Some of them come built in, like you saw there's a bunch there, but you can also make your own. We'll go back to shark and again add enemy tag, and that way he's there. Okay, great. That's all looking fine and super dandelions. All right, let's save that. And now I need to make that script for the other one. So I'm going to go script. I'm going to create a new script, JavaScript, and this is going to be enemy controller script. Bam. And I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to drop it onto my shock. Oh, you know what? It just occurred to me. That is not going to work. That just switching out the block tester, because the problem is that it's going to send to this player script controller. don't believe it will let me see something. Yeah, see, it has to be player script, which doesn't work in this case. So I am going to have to actually duplicate this block. Oops. Assets, here we go. And scripts. I don't like the, how did I switch this out? So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take block tester, Control C, Control V. Cool. Control D. And we're going to do, I'm going to change this. Come on, baby, you can let me do it. All right. And it's going to be enemy block tester script, enemy block tester script. And I'm going to open this guy up. We're going to go ahead and drop it on this guy, and I'm going to remove the previous one. Remove component. Okay. Enemy block tester script. So enemy, oh, that was not the one I was hoping for. I'm going to double click on this. Okay. And I can leave these parts in here. That's fine. But what I need to do is I need to change this to enemy controller script. Enemy. And actually, to do this in an easier way, I can go up to search and we can do replace. And we're going to search for player C. Player. See, then it's going to want to replace all of those. All right, that's fine. And we are going to search. And, okay, so player controller script, place. Oops, sorry, I got to put what I want to replace it with, and it's going to be enemy. So we're going to do this, and it's going to replace that one. And then this, I'm going to skip. We're going to skip that, and I will replace that one. And I'm going to skip that one, and I'm going to replace that one. And then now we are going to make it caps, enemy, and we will replace that one, and there we go. Okay, voila, and we will save that. Good. So now you'll see that it will take an enemy controller script, and I can plop this guy or not. All right, I must have spelled the enemy controller script. Let's see, enemy controller script. Okay, and there. Enemy controller script. Enemy controller script. Still looking for player controller script. Enemy block tester. Enemy block tester script. Block tester script. Non-player controller script. It's kind of weird. Control S. Let's go back here. Really shouldn't be. Alright, let's try this. We will remove component and we will do enemy block tester script. Still saying player controller script. So basically it's not working because of something random. So what you have to do, basically the enemy controller script is just going to be a copy of this. So I'm going to take the player controller script, and this is the enemy controller, not the enemy block tester script. Leave that one as it is, but go to player controller script, Control C, go to enemy controller script, which is going to control how he moves, Control A, and then Control V, and paste it in there, okay? And you can just save that. And then this will work afterwards. It's just it doesn't have, because it didn't have that one aspect, it just was angry. So then I can assign the shark 0 thing. So basically the enemy controller script is an exact duplicate of the player controller script currently. So you can literally just duplicate this and do this. This one is a duplicate of this, except that this part up here, which we already changed, okay? So, that being said, we need to change the enemy controller script because this is not actually going to work as it is. Some things need to change. So, what needs to change? Now, really, I should change all these like player things to enemy, but I'm just going to leave it because I don't really care. Really, you should probably go through and change wherever it says player, transform, and, you know, go to enemy and what have you. But what we're going to do is add a couple more variables, because basically we want this to automatically move. So I'm going to do a variable for end game, and it's going to be a Boolean, and we're going to set it to false. So basically when the game's done, it won't run anymore. We're going to do another variable for move weight, okay, and it's going to be a float, and we're going to set that equal to 0.25, and then we're going to do a variable add to weight, and that is also going to be a float. Okay, and this is fine. Okay. Oh, so I did change it. Okay, so on function start, after we do this, I'm going to do this a little bit differently. Instead of doing an update, we're going to change this. I want to make this a different one. So this is just a made-up one. This isn't one that comes preloaded like update and start and on trigger, enter, and all those other ones. And on my start function, which automatically gets started, I'm going to go ahead and call this move function. Okay. This way it'll execute this function. If I don't do this, this won't be executed unless it's called, and right here it's being called. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is in here, I am going to change some things. So it is going to look like this. We're going to add a while loop. So while, and we're going to say while endgame is not true. I could have literally just put a, or tour, true. I could just put an exclamation point in front of it, but I think this probably makes it a little bit easier to understand. It's going to run this entire block of code. So it's going to be like this. Okay. So while it's true, it's going to go through this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do this little bit here. I'm going to say yield wait for seconds. So it's going to wait a certain amount of time, and it's going to be the amount it's going to wait is going to be move weight, which we're going to determine in a little while. So basically, how often it's going to move is going to be this. So it's going to wait every however long this amount is. All right, and then we're going to do move weight and plus equals add to weight. Okay. Fantabulous. Now, instead of doing, I'm going to take this whole chunk here from, let me see, here goes to there. This goes to that one, right? Okay, so I'm going to go from here all the way to this one. And I'm going to go to format, and we're going to go ahead and indent selection. So that way this is like in line. Okay. So instead of saying if an input, because obviously we're not going to be moving, it's not going to be based on our movements, right? It's going to be just based on time, which is going to be this here. So it's going to wait a second, and then I just want it to move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the position data instead. So I'm going to say if, we'll actually just make a whole new piece of code here because this might be easier. We're going to say if the enemy transform dot position dot x is less than the player transform dot position dot x, I'm going to want it to move in a certain way. So up here we're going to do is we're going to have a variable for player transform, and I did not make one for the other. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and switch some of this. So we're going to say enemy transform, and this is going to be enemy transform. So I'm going to switch where it was player enemy